Academic performance is a key indicator of students' success in higher education. It can be influenced by various factors, including working while studying, career motivation, and study habits. Working while studying may provide financial support, practical experience, and opportunities for personal development. However, it may also create challenges such as limited study time and increased academic stress. In addition, strong career motivation encourages students to remain committed to their academic goal, while effective study habits enhance learning and improve academic performance. Therefore, this study aims to examine the influence of working while studying, career motivation, and study habits on students' academic performance. A quantitative approach was employed involving 220 respondents. The data were analyzed using descriptive analysis, reliability analysis, correlation analysis, and multiple regression analysis. The findings of this study are expected to provide useful insights for students, educators, and higher education institutions in understanding the factors that contribute to academic success and in developing appropriate strategies to enhance students' academic performance.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ain Atira binti Abdul Khalik. My matrix number 1231418. For research questions, this study seeks to answer three main questions. First, what is the influence of working while studying on students' academic performance? Second, what is the influence of career motivation on students' academic performance? And third, what is the influence of study habits on students' academic performance? For research objective, the objective of this study are threefold. The first is to examine the relationship between working while studying and students' academic performance. The second is to determine the relationship between career motivation and students' academic performance. The third is to investigate the relationship between study habits and students' academic performance. For research hypotheses, this study proposes three hypotheses. For the first one is states that there is a significant relationship between working while studying and students' academic performance. Then it suggests that there is a significant relationship between career motivation and students' academic performance. And finally, Hypothesis 3 proposes that there is a significant relationship between study habits and students' academic performance. This research model is designed to examine the relationship between several independent variables and students' academic performance. The independent variables included in this study are working while studying, career motivation, and study habits. The dependent variable is students' academic performance. As illustrated in the diagram, the model proposes that working while studying, career motivation, and study habits directly influence students' academic performance. Overall, this model highlights how external commitments, internal drive, and learning behaviors collectively shape academic outcomes.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Imani binti Mazlan. My matric number is 1231372. Now I will present the descriptive analysis. Okay, we gather responses from a total of 220 participants, and importantly, there were no missing values across the demographic variable of gender, program, year of study, and GPA. This gives us confidence that the data set is complete and reliable for analysis. Starting with gender distribution, the majority of respondents were female, accounting for 81.4%, while only 18.6% were male. This shows that our sample is strongly dominated by female students, which may influence the perspective captured in this study. Moving on to the program distribution, the largest group of respondents came from the new media program, representing 41.4% of the sample, communication student from the second largest group at 23.2%, followed by Akidah at 15.5%, counseling at 15.0%, and finally Da'wah at 5%. This indicates the most of our respondents were concentrated in new media and communication program, reflecting the academic strength of this field within our institutions. Next, looking at the year of study, 53.6% of respondents were in their third year, while 46.4% were in their fourth year. This shows a fairly balanced representation between the two groups, with a slight majority in the third year. The balance between these two cohorts allow us to capture perspective from students at different stages of their academic journey. Finally, regarding GPA distribution, the majority of students, 66.8%, had a GPA between 3.00 and 3.49. Another 18.2% achieved a GPA between 3.50 and 4.00, while 14.1% fell in the 2.50 to 2.99 range. Only 0.9% score below 2.49. This suggests that most respondents maintain moderate to high academic performance, with a significant proportion achieving strong GPAs above 3.00.
The descriptive statistics indicate that career motivation recorded the highest mean score, which is M3.4 SP 0.37, followed by working while studying M3.3 SP 0.42. Students' academic performance M3.2 SD 0.56. In contrast, study habits obtained the lowest mean score M2.9 SD 0.61. The standard deviations for all constructs were below 1.00, indicating that the respondents' answers were relatively consistent and showed little variation. Overall, the respondents demonstrated a moderately high level of agreement across the three variables, indicating favorable perceptions of career motivation, working while studying, and student academic performance. Although one variable did not achieve the same level of agreement as the others, it remained within the moderate range. Table 7 presents the reliability analysis for the working while studying construct. The analysis produced a Cronbach's alpha value of 0.545, indicating a moderate level of internal consistency among the items. Although the reliability coefficient is below the recommended value of 0.70, it exceeds the minimum acceptable value of 0.50 for exploratory research, namely 1978. Therefore, the working while studying construct was considered sufficiently reliable and retained for subsequent analysis. The corrected item total correlation values indicate that most items contributed positively to the construct, with values ranging from 0.260 to 0.454. However, two negatively worded items recorded negative corrected item total correlations, suggesting that these statements may require reverse coding or refinement in future studies to improve the reliability of the scale. Table 8 shows the reliability analysis for the career motivation construct. The findings indicate a Cronbach's alpha value of 0.531 for 10 measurement items, which representing a moderate level of reliability. Although the coefficient is below the ideal threshold of 0.70, it remains acceptable for exploratory studies based on the recommendations of Herr et al. 2019 and Nunnally 1978. Accordingly, all measurement items were retained for further statistical analysis. The corrected item total correlations show that the majority of the items contributed positively to the construct. Table 9 presents the reliability analysis for the study habits construct. The construct achieved a Cronbach's alpha value of 0.609, indicating an acceptable level of internal consistency for exploratory research. Among the four constructs, study time recorded the highest reliability coefficients, suggesting that the measurement items consistently assessed respondents' study time behavior. Based on the recommendations of Herr et al. 2019, the reliability level is considered satisfactory for continuing with further statistical analysis. The corrected item total correlations also demonstrate that most items contributed positively to the construct. Therefore, all 6 items were retained for subsequent correlation and regression analysis. Table 10 presents the reliability analysis for the student's academic performance construct, which consists of 6 measurement items. The result indicate a Cronbach alpha value of 0.552, demonstrating a moderate level of internal consistency among the 6 measurement items. Although this value does not reach the recommended threshold of 0.70, it exceeds the minimum acceptable value suggested for exploratory research by Nunnally 1978. Therefore, the study grade construct was considered sufficiently reliable for further analysis. The corrected item total correlations indicate that most items positively contributed to the construct. One item recorded a relatively low corrected item total correlations, which may have slightly reduced the overall reliability coefficients. Nevertheless, all 6 items were retained because the overall reliability remained acceptable for exploratory research.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Nabila binti Muhammad Nazir. My matric number is 1231460. Next, I will present about correlation analysis. The correlation analysis shows that the 3 independent variables have positive and significant relationship with student academic performance. Student habits have the strongest relationship with academic performance. R equals 0.351 followed by career motivation. R equals 0.216 and working while studying. R equals 0.212. So, therefore, all 3 hypotheses H1, H2 and H3 are supported.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. First of all, my name is Rizwana binti Ibrahim. My matric number is 1231368. So today, I will explain about the simple regression. So first, looking at the model summary, the R value is 0.415. So this indicates it's actually a moderate overall the relationship between the independent variables and students' academic performance. So the R square value is 0.172, which means that 17.2% of the variation in students' academic performance can be explained by the 3 independent variables. The remaining 82.8% may be explained by other factors that were not included in this study. Next, based on the ANOVA table, the significance value is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. Therefore, the regression model is statistically significant. This means that the 3 independent variables, when considered together, significantly predict students' academic performance. For the residual statistics, the analysis was conducted using 220 observations. The predicted values range from 2.5630 to 3.8046 with a mean of 3.2327. The residuals which represent the difference between the actual and predicted values had a mean of 0.000. This indicates that the model's predictions are generally unbiased. For the coefficient table, working while studying has a significance value of 0.085, which is greater than 0.05. So therefore, it does not have a statistically significant effect on students' academic performance. The histogram of the regression standardized residual shows a relatively bell-shaped and symmetrical distributions around 0. So therefore, the residuals are approximately normally distributed, indicating that the assumptions of normality is satisfied. Finally, the scatter plot of the regression standardized predicted value and regression standardized residual was used to assess linearity. The residuals are randomly and evenly distributed above and below the 0 line without any clear pattern or funnel shape. So this indicates that the variance of the residuals is relatively constant and the relationship between the independent variables and academic performance is linear. So overall, the regression assumptions were generally satisfied and the regression model can be considered appropriate for this study.
This study concludes that working while studying, career motivation, and study habits are all positively related to students' academic performance, though their influence varies. Correlation analysis confirms significant positive relationships for each variable, while regression analysis revealed that study habits and career motivation are strong predictors of academic success, whereas working while studying showed no significant effect when considered alongside the other factors. Overall, the findings emphasize that students with clear career goals and effective study practices tend to achieve better outcomes, suggesting that universities should foster positive study behaviors and career-focused motivation while supporting those balancing work and study. Future research should expand to include more variables and diverse samples to deepen understanding of the determinants of student achievement. That's all from me. Thank you.